And we're recording.
And we're live. Did you ever get to like that point where you're like, this happened to me the other day, like you get to the point where like, maybe I'm not funny anymore?
Every time we sit down and try to do the podcast.
I'm working with like younger guys. Like I'm getting to that, like I'm 35, we're 35 years old. And like I went up to these younger guys at work and I was like I just made a joke to like one of them and like neither one of them laughed. I
don't even try much
like
anymore.
I can't even relate to like I finally know what it. I don't even have kids, and I know what it feels like to be a parent and like
not be cool.
Now you realize.
Yeah. I'm getting to that point where like I mean I was never cool,
Exactly.
but now I'm like
Now you
really
realize
not
it.
cool.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I need to take up like dubstep and
like whatever the kids are talking about.
Yeah.
All right. So we are recording a very special episode of Six Pack Ads today. I always fuck up the goddamn intro with some word. But not only is it our pilot episode, but it is also our Christmas special. We're going to call it the 12 Ads of Christmas, by the way. But it is also the first time that me and Sean are having a guest on. So everybody welcome Mr. Steve Jurnack.
Thank you.
So, yeah, it's after Christmas now. We didn't know when we were going to record this.
Yeah. So our first episode, how disappointed were you when that?
I thought we were just going to act like everybody heard that. And we were just going to like make inside jokes based on that episode.
Well, I suppose we could do that, but no, the cat's out of the bag.
No, that was horrible. Like, we were recording for well over 2 hours. Like, by the time we got, set up, probably like 3 hours, because like the length of the podcast was like 1 hour and 40 minutes. And we get all done, and we realize that the audio was not recording properly, and you could not hear Sean at all. It was just like me having conversations in the shower or whatever.
Yep.
No, we were not in the shower.
Yeah.
Maybe we were, but they didn't need to know that.
Right.
The funniest thing about that was when you posted on our Facebook page. You're like, I don't remember what the original post said. It was something
I'm like, everybody get ready. It was just like, never mind.
It was just a comment underneath the post. It's like, never mind.
Never mind, didn't work.
So,
and nobody was too disappointed. So.
Yeah, not too many sad faces on that one.
But we're here now, and I think it's recording. If this does not work this time, I think we're done. Like
4 tests later.
Yeah.
This is like our 4th test tonight. But yeah, everybody have a good holiday here.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It shows how good we are at picking presents out for each other and our family, and we're still waiting on gifts. Like this whole it's been a rough year. We ordered stuff like at the beginning.
2020's been rough.
No, not at all.
That's the postal service being slow.
Yeah, I mean it's no fault of their own, but
yeah. Like sending stuff up 2 weeks ago to my brother in Vermont, and he got it today, so he had to open some stuff up.
Jesus.
Yeah, we still haven't gotten. I think I ordered last time at Scan was like December 10th in like Akron, Ohio. So
Yep.
I see a
It
lot
always
of
bounces up and down the East Coast.
it's like a lot of people have stuff stuck in Allentown or Harrisburg or something. There's like 2 distribution centers down there.
Well, isn't like one of them like completely shut down because of the whole like COVID thing?
I think maybe there was some record store I follow on Facebook, and they were saying something about like, stop contacting us about your order. Like we set it out, like it's out of our hands now.
I heard Philly, that distribution in Philly was backed up. Like I heard 16 semi trucks. They just didn't have enough people.
Wow.
Yeah.
I blame Gritty.
That sounds right.
All right. So, well, we might as well.
I'm gonna start saying. So we got to introduce the concept of the show.
Yeah. So it's 6-pack ads. We came up with this idea. So the format of the show is we've got a 6-pack each episode. Hopefully, it's a different one each episode. And how it's gonna work is we just review 80s, 90s commercials. We usually have a theme. Like
Oh wait, I'm supposed to like set this on here, and it's supposed to be like a secret, like what's in here.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Like it's like some sort of treasure. But yeah, go ahead and keep on. We drink a 6-pack and watch old commercials.
Yeah, and review, and when the 6-pack's over, the show's over.
But
straightforward.
being that we have an extra person today, like we got some special beers that we're gonna probably crack open. We'll see. We're all very hungry, and we've been talking about this amazing steak we're gonna cook here after we're done. So we'll see.
Yeah, so we might try to rush through this episode and at least get something out. But anyways.
So all right, let's get cracking with the knacking. We're gonna say that. But anyway, so everybody knows, like, everything connected to Christmas is like nostalgic. Like, we watch the same movies every year, and then like listen to the same old songs, and everything. It's like the one year, like, you go back in time, remember being a kid. And I feel like commercials are the same way. Like, you can watch so many old commercials, and like you can just like remember like seeing them on TV.
Yeah. Do you guys remember, like, what was the first Christmas that you guys remember?
I remember we used to live across the lot from my parents' store, living in the downstairs apartment. And I can go into church early and just sitting there tapping your feet, just like antsy little kids coming back from church. We're just waiting for your presents to open up. It was, I must have been probably 5 or 6 years old at that point, but just excitement, just sheer excitement.
I don't remember much about Christmas. I had to been like 3 or 4 because I was still living in South Towanda. It was before I moved to Williamsport, or the other side of the mountain in Williamsport. But I don't remember like much about Christmas itself. But I remember I got this big like toy with like 2 big wheels that had pegs in it. Like, I don't know why I'm making this. I'm not gonna bother the motion, but I had 2 big wheels that you powered. We need to have like an adult version of that.
I don't think I even I can't
remember the thing that you jerked off to as a child.
2 things wheels.
No, I can't say that I have. I don't remember. I remember getting like a lot of like NASCAR stuff because that was like the thing that I was big into, but I don't remember like at what age I was.
I love Legos for like the first 15 years of my life, pretty much. And so I'd rush downstairs and pick up the box, and you'd hear that distinctive jingle.
Yeah, I remember. I was actually looking up because I've got like my man cave. Most people have like bar stuff.
Yeah.
Mine's like just full of like toys from like the 80s,
Yeah.
and it's like just shit that like I got rid of when I was little, but now I'm paying like 3 times as much as I did as a kid. But
yeah, if you would have hung on to the stuff you had as a kid, like it'd be worth. So even like out of the package, a lot of it.
Speaking of that, my brother got a pack of Pokemon cards and had a Charizard, the holographic Charizard in there. My mom vacuum sealed it, and we still have that laying around the house.
really,
It's vacuum sealed for 20 years now.
I watch like all these like YouTube videos of people unboxing Pokemon cards, and they say like they're worth so much money. But I go on eBay,
I don't think so.
and then like the most I can see for it'll be like maybe like 1,500, but it'll be like 5 like really good cards.
Yeah.
But these guys are this card alone is worth 50,000. Like, who's buying Pokemon cards?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand. Like it kind of like flip flop. Like remember how like antiques are like supposedly worth so much now, but like it was just like junk like back in the day, like because of all these shows like like Storage Wars and like American Pickers and stuff. Like all that stuff went like right through the roof, and I just totally lost my train of thought. But like
How it's kind of like the same as that though.
well, things were like worth so much more like before the internet. Like everything was like so rare, but now you think like I was looking at like an old exercise bike last night. I'm like, that thing's got to be worth something, but like you get on eBay and they're like,
well, you connected to people around the world. You
yeah.
just have random crap in their garage.
So now, it's like worth like a fraction of.
Whereas before, you have to go out actively hunting, like a flea market or like go to some yard sale.
Yeah.
I remember like my mom, like we got like the Happy Meals with the Beanie Babies in them.
Oh.
And like I told my mom, like, we're not opening those up because they're
Keep the tags on the ear.
and like when you look now, they're worth like maybe $5. Like they're not. Everybody like expected like the stock market of Beanie Babies just to like fucking skyrocket. Like all I could think was that stumps me with that bald headed dude and it's kind of Chuck Diamond.
Yeah, internet ruined a lot of things.
Yes.
So, anyway, so let's talk about the beer we're drinking.
Yeah, so I wanted to get Pud kind of crushed my dreams yesterday. A big annual thing for us is watching National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Usually, like as a group, we used to like get together and like try to watch that.
Me and Steve watched it the other night.
Did you?
That just gets better. Like that was never a family, like a Jurnack family movie growing up. But we watched like the old claymation ones, Rudolph and Santa Claus. But as I get older, I just appreciate that more and more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hilarious, of course, but
it's got like all like that's got like the nostalgia, like and like the crude humor and like the slapstick, like comedy. It's got like all the things that I love. Like, but all right, you were talking about that movie, and there's the beer.
Yeah. So cousin Eddie, when he's pumping a shitter, he's got the beer there. I'm like, we're doing a Christmas episode. I'm like, I want to get that beer, and I'm like, for some reason, I don't know if it was like just like picturing that. I'm like, I know. I'm pretty sure I saw that beer like at a beer store. So I messaged Pud and I sent him a picture of it. I'm like, we need to get this beer. And then you sent back like an LOL or something like that. And then you're like, I'll see if they have it. And then you messaged me back like 5 minutes. It's Miller Lite.
Yeah, it's Miller Lite. Like that, whatever.
It's Meister Brew or something.
Yeah, like
on
some
the can.
Weird German name that they probably just looked in the dictionary, looked like German words. I mean, it probably has German origins like every other beer, but yeah, it's Miller Lite. No. But I was wondering like that they might put it out like as like a throwback can.
Yeah, but
I didn't. All I saw was like they brought it back in like 2005 in like a limited market. But so I was looking for Christmas beer, but I'm like, well, it's past Christmas, like plus like Christmas beer like always has like cinnamon and like cherry flavor, like not my favorite.
You can have one and the sweetness is too much.
But so all of us in like Northeast, I'm not sure how far the storm went, but last week we all got hit by what I would classify as the blizzard.
Yeah.
Because it's bigger than the blizzard I could ever remember with the blizzard of '93. I mean, maybe not bigger than that, but I was a kid during the blizzard of '93 and I didn't care about snow because snow meant getting out of school. So we got a shit ton, pardon my language, of snow the other day. So I bought Blizzard of Hops from Troegs Brewery in Hershey, Pennsylvania. I think I've had it before, actually.
This stuff?
Yep.
I don't know. I've never been an IPA guy, but the last episode we did, we got that Voodoo Ranger. Like ever since that, like I've been craving an IPA. So
I thought you were just staring at me because I took a sip of beer before everybody else. I thought you were just like, oh, like wait, my kid.
Yeah. So
yeah, there's like a point, like with IPA, like I feel like nobody likes it at first, but then it's like I feel it's like beer as a whole is that way.
That was the same way for me.
And
yeah,
did not like it.
So I asked you the last episode, like, what was your first experience with like an IPA? Because like that's like all you drink now, other than Guinness. But I don't think obviously these guys listening to it, and I don't think Steve's heard the story. So like, what was your first experience with an IPA?
So I'd always like tried IPAs. I've been around craft beer. I settled on like I didn't like IPAs. I like a lot of like craft wheat beers. But the one time I was at a concert in New York City, and all they had was craft beer. They didn't have like Miller Lite or like Coors Light or anything. And all the like craft beer was the same price. And my friend Chad told me, he's like, I know you don't like IPA, but that has like 2 more like percent alcohol.
Oh, same price.
And the same price. So I learned that night to like IPA.
Yep.
Buzz and I got like really drunk. We went back to like another bar. Like it was the Hold Steady opening for Gaslight Anthem, which I had never listened to the Hold Steady before and haven't listened to them since. But they were good. But we're at this bar that we went to it before the concert. And we went back because it was so cool. And like we're there, and the guitarist of the Hold Steady is just chilling out in there. And like we got all these pictures, but I didn't remember it at all. And like the guy's like pointing at me and laughing, like who the hell is this guy?
When was that?
Oh, what the hell year was I forget? Gosh, you were still living in Shippensburg.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I remember those days where you'd get the most ABV. You just look for something like, oh, that's like 7 or 8. Great, give it to me. I think my first IP I ever had was something from Magic Hat. Not up in Vermont, but somewhere here because you'd find the number 9 at least. But I could not stand it. I had to grow into that.
Well, that was like the days of like the Four Loko.
Mm-hmm.
If I had one of those, like they make them now.
Yeah, not the same.
But they're not the same as what they were. Like even the way they are now, I don't think I could handle it. The way Four Locos used to be was like they said it was like the equivalent of drinking 2 beers and 3 cups of coffee in like one, like what 60-ounce beverage? Not 60 ounce.
No, like a 24-ounce, something like that.
Yeah, like the tall boys or whatever.
Yep.
And like
they were disgusting.
Put so much sugar in that it tasted good.
Mm-hmm.
Like disgustingly. I mean, now I couldn't have it.
No.
But back then it was just like, oh, this is yummy. Like just chug it. Like I've never heard of like someone just having a Four Loko and
just chilling.
Like having to be
just watch some Netflix and have a Four Loko.
Watch the sunset out on my porch with a Four Loko. Yeah, that's not their game.
The only like Four Loko I can like even like kind of remotely taste like thinking about right now is like the grape one.
The watermelon sticks out.
Disgusting.
It's like a watermelon Jolly Rancher, like that artificial just.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of the flavors. Like I mean, I only had like 2 ever.
Yeah.
That was enough.
Yeah.
In fact, it was at your apartment.
I remember that. I came home, so a friend of mine, it was my roommate's birthday. We had guys coming in to celebrate, and he comes in with a case of Dogfish Head Ale. And we're like, oh, that's awesome, good beer. Nope, 13 Four Locos in there. He slams down like, oh, shit, here we go.
Well, the funny part was that the night before, me, Steve, and our other friend, Anthony, got really drunk. And then, like, that day, during the day, went to the casino. And we're coming back, we're like, oh, we had a rough night. Like, we're still having a bad time, but we're going to get back to the apartment, we're going to take a nap, and then have, like, a nice, quiet night, like, going out to the bars.
Yep.
We fucking get to Steve's apartment, and they're, like, already, like...
They're pre-game, and they're going hard.
And they're just like not going to sleep during this. Might as well partake.
So we're drinking there in the apartment. I have one. Pud and Tony have, they have, 1.5 each. Yeah, because they had one, and then they shared one. And they're on the couch, leaning on each other, just trying to stay awake, just maintaining. And we're like, oh, we're gonna go out to the bar, and then those two say, oh, we'll catch up with you. We'll be back later. We get back from the bar about 2 a.m, and he is halfway in the bathroom, laying on the ground, and Tony's behind him, laying, just sleeping there. We're stepping over him, good night, boys. It's been a good time.
Oh, yeah.
But just disgusting. How did I live that way? I was a man, a grown ass man living that way.
How old were you guys at this time?
I was 24. So just out of college.
Yeah, it was like that. 24, 25 age there.
Yeah.
When how old were you guys when what the first time you got drunk?
That was for me. I think it was 19 up in South Mountain, Canton. Partied up there with Ben Felton and some people. I don't want to narc on him or anything. He counseled. Was it 6th grade? What camp did high schoolers would be counselors at this camp?
6th grade camp at Camp Roulette.
Yeah.
Camp Roulette. Okay, I think it might have been that Camp Lackawanna. I heard because I've told this story before, but a bunch of those counselors there, and I never did that. So I met all these people, and we ended up skinny dipping in the pond there, up at that lodge and stuff. And it was amazing. It was so much fun. Sprained both my ankles that night. Woke up next morning and Ben's mom was pissed. They couldn't find my pants, and oh my god.
I think
that was.
I drank I only drank like once to get drunk illegally. Like, and I didn't get that bad, and I say that I didn't do anything crazy. But then when I was 20, I had a week off of work, and me and some other friends went up to Niagara Falls up in Canada. The drinking age up there was 20, and or 19. Or is it 19? Yeah, it's 19.
18 or 18, 19.
Yeah, it's 19 because our other one of our friends was only 19, or maybe I forget. But anyway, 19 or 20, whatever it was. But we made the trek up there just
to get shit faced.
The friends that I went up with, they had all drink at college, so like they're like used to beer and stuff, and I like had only tasted beer like when you'd be like a cookout, like a uncle would be like, here, taste it swig.
Yeah.
They don't all tasted the same. And like we'd go out for like dinner and like I'd have a couple, and I was like, I don't think I could ever like that stuff.
Yep.
But they had Mike's Hard Lemonade, and like even back then, being that young, in a touristy spot, I was getting laughed at by the bartenders when I'd ask for it. But yeah, we had that, and then like the one bar I went to, like we're doing shots of absinthe, which they say that stuff makes you trip and the dispute and everything.
The stuff they get over here, I don't think that's like it's branded as absinthe, but I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean,
actual.
And it's not like when you look into it, it's not like even that good of stuff. But but like I had it towards the end of the night, so I like that plus me thinking in my mind like it's about making me like go nuts.
I don't think I think I've tried absinthe, but like I don't think that's something I could never like drink it enough to even like figure out if I could like trip on it.
Yeah, I've never tried it, never been close to this stuff.
What was your first time ever getting drunk?
So the one that I really remember, like I never got drunk at, I used to go to like buddies' houses up on Armenia Mountain in Troy, and there was like trails and stuff there to ride like 4-wheelers and stuff on, so we would go up and do that. But that guy's brother always had like beer and stuff for us to drink, and I may have gotten drunk up there once, but that was probably I was probably like 18 then. But it wasn't long after that I got so drunk at 19 that I didn't drink again until I was 23.
Wow.
Like it was bad. Like if it was funny because like it was a combination of some wine. It was a spiced rum. What's the big spice?
Kraken?
No,
Captain Morgan.
It may have been Captain Morgan and Coors Light, and like I was just
Baker's
I was going. Oh my god! Like it was. I can still remember like the moment where I stopped feeling my face.
Yeah,
I could remember that part.
You hit the cliff. You just
and I went up, and they were trying to put me to bed. And they gave me like this giant cup of water, and I was like laying on the corner of the bed, and they set the cup down in front of me, and like I just took my hand and like knocked over the cup of water, and I was like laughing my ass off, and then I threw up like all over the corner of the bed, and like I remember laughing about that. Then I think I passed out, but then like the next morning I drove home, and I was probably still drunk. But I was like enough to like, I knew what was going on, obviously. And I got home and I threw up like all day long. And I remember like throwing up in the toilet. My mom came in and she's like, "Are you hungover?" I'm like, "No, I'm sick." She's like, "Are you sure? Because it looks like you're hungover." I'm like, "No, I'm pretty sure I'm sick." But yeah, I was on my 21st birthday. Like they took me out to dinner. Like I had no desire, and I was one of those that like how I got myself back into it was with Mike's Hard Lemonade, and like all the bitch beers.
I remember at 21, like that's when I first started like drinking, like not regular. I mean, I never like I said, I only got like drunk illegally like twice. Or once, and like drank like maybe 2 other times, just a couple. But like when I turned 21, I thought I was like invincible to a hangover.
Oh.
Like I used to be able to like just grab like a bottle like Jägermeister. I'm not saying I could chug it, but I could tip it back and take like a swig out of it and not flinch. Like same with Jack or anything. Now, like if I want to do a shot of like the best tasting liquor, I gotta like hype myself up and like immediately have like a chaser, and I still gotta have a clear eye on like a toilet or a trash can.
I didn't get hangovers till I was about 25, and then just I don't know what it was. Like I would just metabolize so fast. I wake up, let's go, and now I'm out for like 30 hours. Like to even like the whole next day, we're not doing anything.
Oh. Yeah, when I get a bad hangover now, it's just like it just hurts for like a week. It's like, and then I'm mad at myself that I threw away like a whole
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's man, I've had plans on Saturday. Oh my God. Yep.
All right. Well, should we get into some of these commercials?
Yeah, let's do a rapid fire on the first couple. Like I said, we're doing 12 ads at Christmas, so we're gonna do 12. So our first episode was supposed to be all beard commercials, and we recorded the whole episode. And we talked about them. We had some good jokes even. I mean, I don't know if anybody else.
They weren't even that inappropriate.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah, we didn't do a disclaimer at the beginning of this.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're probably gonna swear. We're gonna try not to, but we're probably gonna.
We're definitely going to.
I mean,
we've sworn it 10 times already.
Yeah,
I have.
yeah. But all right. So our first ad that we're gonna do is gonna. If you're watching the video, you're gonna see the ad. I think. I don't know.
Is that legal?
What's that?
Is that legal?
I don't know.
Nobody's gonna pay us for ad revenue, so
we didn't hire a lawyer for this. But so if all goes as planned, if you're watching the video, you'll be able to see the ad but not hear it. But we're gonna describe what's going on for audio listeners, like because we're gonna be able to hear it. You're probably gonna be able to hear it, pick it up in the microphone a little bit. But so the first ad we're gonna do is a beer commercial as an ode to the original pilot that we did. Yeah, nobody else saw.
well, I thought you were gonna be. Last time we were like right on the ball with this, but apparently not that. Not
so
so
it's
much.
a Heineken commercial
With a depressed deer.
Depressed Rudolph.
So it's something that like happens to every child star. Like Rudolph, he's apparently an alcoholic now.
Oh man. When I first watched it, I didn't realize how depressing it was.
But it gets better. Apparently, Rudolph's horns are also antennas, not I guess antlers and antennas. They're supposed to be two different things, but
That commercial is depressing. It
Yeah.
never picks up. It's just like, oh,
Yeah.
I got my signal now. Merry Christmas. I'm here alone. Poor guy.
Yeah,
apparently
I didn't watch like I guess I didn't pay that much attention. I was, oh, it's a funny commercial. Beer commercial, Rudolph.
So you think is that a guy in a costume, or do you think that's like
No, that's a
stop
real.
motion?
That's a
the
real
actual
Reagan.
Rudolph.
That's Rudolph.
Yeah.
That's the one from the old animation.
Well, what do you think's better, like child stars? Because obviously, when Rudolph came out, he was a young guy. Santa, put him in the spotlight and got all this fame, and now he's.
Santa was pretty famous before too. I think
Who was?
Santa.
Well, yeah, but he was always a million years old. He was never a child, was he?
Oh, not. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know
Santa.
the Santa extended universe.
I don't ever remember
I don't
hearing
know
the
when
story
the
about.
like, takes over.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, if that's the theory that you go with, you knock Santa Claus off the roof and become Santa. You're a middle-aged man. But Rudolph was pretty young in that.
Yeah.
In the claymation stuff, and obviously the fame ruined him.
Right.
It
Poor
drove
guy.
him to drinking.
He's
not quite to Macaulay Culkin like level, but
He got touched inappropriately by the Bumble or whatever, the abominable monster or whatever.
Yeah.
the abominable snowman.
Yeah. Don't they call it the Bumble? He's like Bumble's mouth.
Yeah.
Honestly,
exactly.
I don't know, but maybe Yukon Jack had his way with him too.
That's a liquor, isn't it?
Well, isn't that Yukon Jack? He's
Yukon
the one
Cornelius.
that's
Yukon
Oh,
Cornelius.
Yukon Cornelius. I was all gung ho about like watching them this time around, but this year, but I did not. But oh well, maybe
That's like one of the
next
few
year.
that I didn't watch this year.
There was one for the life. Like I was remember in second grade. Do you guys remember like you guys both went to St. Agnes?
Mhm.
Not in second grade.
I went in second grade.
True story. I went. All right, that's a funny story. Second grade.
Is
I
it
was
true or is it funny?
It's both. I was going that like so from kindergarten to like middle of third grade. I lived down towards like the other side of the mountain of Williamsport, and you might know it as Montgomery, kind of past Hughesville. But I went to a really small elementary school there called Williamsport Elementary. My second grade teacher, and this is the reason he was a second grade teacher, his name was Mr. Horny.
That was why he was a second grade teacher.
I mean, I guess like you couldn't be like have that last name and teach high school.
No,
Like
that was-
probably. I remember like, and I still the joke still doesn't make that much sense to me, but I always thought it was funny back then, and I think it's funnier now. But people would say, "Mr. Horny, go fart in the bathroom."
Go fart in the bathroom.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I fully get it, but it's I don't know.
I don't know
get
about
it
you,
either.
but when I got turned on, I shit my pants all the time.
Sorry, that's commercial.
This one.
All right, Steve, you want to set this one up?
This one is
Game Boy.
the Game Boy. Thank you, Bud. This one is the classic struggle between the young and the old, and the temptations of electronics. It's like West Side Story in the moment.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a group of old people walking up to a group of young punks. Insulting each other as you would.
Yeah.
But
Very
There's
disappointed there wasn't a pearl necklace reference by one of those kids.
But there is one thing that brings everyone together:
the one old man has a Game Boy.
Game Boy Pocket.
A Game Boy. Man, remember for like years, like it was just that gray,
The big brick.
and then it was like the Game Boy in like different colors,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was like the Game Boy Color that
Game Boy. So the cool thing about the Game Boy Pocket was the screen was higher resolution and was black and white instead of like the green and black that it was before.
Okay, so then after that was a Game Boy Color,
After that was the Game Boy.
where it
Color.
would explain display all the full colors.
Yep.
Did you guys have them?
I never
I
had
had-
a handheld console growing up.
I had the original. I had a Game Boy Color later. I got that in like 8th grade, I think. I had played a bunch of Pokemon games on it. I had a Pokemon Red save on that big brick. I had like 150 hours in 8th grade, and I thought it was hot shit.
What year was it?
It came out in 90, 98, 97, something like that. Those originals. And then I was walking in. I had
The
it on some
original.
books. The original Pokemon.
Oh, okay, not the original Game Boy, because the original Game Boy came
that
out
was
like
89. It came out.
yeah, because that like I was gonna say that had like a huge lifespan,
That's
as
sold
far
like
as, like-
hundreds of millions of units. It's
Yeah.
the top seller.
and they still like work
Great
great
store.
today. Like
Yeah.
you can like buy one, they look like shit,
Mhm.
but they run. I mean, because there's nothing to break on them. Really.
Exactly. But I dropped I had the Game Boy with my Pokemon Red save. It was like gold to me, and I dropped it and it destroyed the battery inside, so I lost it all.
Oh, no.
I probably cried at that actually.
I never got.
100% honest.
My cousins had Game Boys, so I always just played theirs. But I think the first like console thing that I ever got was a Sega Genesis, and that was like I was never a Nintendo guy.
We had the 1 year. I guess that's one of the other big memories. I remember like open up like a Nintendo, like not open up the Nintendo, but always having it to play.
Mm-hmm.
But the 1 year, my aunt and uncle had a Genesis, and they had already played through the Sonic games, and I guess I didn't want it. So me and my brother like did enough chores where we saved our allowances and got the Genesis, and like I couldn't like I was just like looking at like
Couldn't believe it.
Couldn't fathom like that. Now I have like 2 consoles right up here that are like the size of a pack of cigarettes,
Mhm.
and one of them is the smaller one.
Is that a Nintendo?
Yeah.
So that's how like stupid I am with like things nowadays. I don't pay attention. That
So this thing, I mean, in most of the unit, or so the games are all stored on a chip that's like that big, but it has every Nintendo game, every Super Nintendo game, every Sega Genesis game, every Atari game, every Game Boy game, a lot of PlayStation games, a ton of arcade games,
Mhm.
a lot of Nintendo 64 games, and like
all on that thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it could be smaller.
That's a Raspberry Pi in there, which is like a little computer.
Yeah, and this is like the older model of that,
Yeah, yeah.
and like now they're like way smaller,
Mhm.
and like most of the computer, or most of what you're seeing, is just plastic housing to keep protected.
Yep.
So like,
Huh.
it's ridiculous.
I kind of want one of them now.
And then I have
They're-
this other thing.
About $50 for the whole setup. Like
Really?
that thing too. Like the new ones have Bluetooth, so you have wireless controllers, everything.
What are the controllers like a regular Nintendo controller like
you can
that?
use you can use whatever USB controller you want.
I have like Bluetooth ones now.
So with Bluetooth, you can use probably like the new Xbox controllers and PlayStation controllers.
And then I have this thing, which was like an official version. That thing's bootleg as hell.
Yeah.
But like, this is like an official thing that Sega put out. Looks just like a mini Genesis.
Mhm. And that has like a 16 or 20 preloaded games on it. They made like a custom UI for it, but they play exactly good on an HD TV. It's
I realized
have
halfway
the
through
Super
that
Nintendo one.
I was doing show and tell. I was just like, wait, what are we doing?
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh no! I learned something. I should have asked for them for Christmas. Instead, I got a 10-pack of screwdrivers.
Those
you already
things,
had.
Yeah, that I already had.
those things, like you can't get those. They made so few of them that people were looking around. Like you find them on eBay for a couple $100 now, even though they're like cost nothing to make.
The Sega Genesis.
Well,
thing?
all, the Sega
Or
Genesis
just-
Classic, the NES Classic, like the SNES Classic are all
the
really
Genesis ones, I think, are still pretty cheap
good. Oh, okay.
because like those were kind of flat. But the NES and
Mhm.
SNES Classic, they sold out like immediately.
Yep.
Because like Nintendo does this weird thing.
They don't release enough hardware.
Yeah, they just like will not like meet the demand.
Yep.
They just like love making a market for fucking pirators.
Mm-hmm.
Or not pirators, but
Pirates, bootleggers,
what's
emulators.
not emulators. People that make profit off the tickets.
Oh,
Scalpers.
Scalpers.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
All right. All right. Let's move on. We got a lot to get through here. This is one that you picked, Sean. So it's about the Norco.
Oh yeah, we get into some interesting shape.
Get into a little hygiene here.
Yeah.
There we go.
So I don't really know why. Apparently, these guys did a shitload of other stuff, and apparently they niched
Yeah.
themselves into.
When you think Norelco, you think like the shavers with the 3 heads on them,
Yeah.
buzzer. But apparently they made coffee. They had also like
The irons,
Yeah,
a bunch of other.
all
They
sorts
had
of
blood
home
pressure monitors or testers, but they decided to.
to branch out.
Yeah.
Diversify.
Christmas is a time for closeness, and closeness is what Norelco razors are all about. For close shaves,
What was that?
No action like twin action.
Yeah, there
the
you go.
commercial says.
Heyo. Then there's the ladybug.
Mm-hmm.
Could you like?
Why does
I feel like if my dad would have bought my mom a razor for Christmas, like I would be going to 2 separate households.
Yeah.
one color? What? There was 11 attachments for that thing. Now
Like, do they count like the lengths as a separate attachment?
I don't.
Or-
I think so.
yeah.
So I don't remember what year commercial that was, but
Mhm.
I mean,
Well, it had like the claymation style Santa.
yeah,
with a
because
razor
that just
head.
screams.
It just screams 80s and 90s. Like
Yeah,
The voiceover, the soft music.
Let's
Right.
count the attachments here.
so apparently the Norelco shaver replaced Rudolph.
Yeah.
I think my first razor
Who
was
needs Rudolph when you have twin action?
yeah,
Or the ladybug.
or the ladybug. I want to know what the 11 attachments like.
Nope.
What
Get that paw. Hey,
what does
get
it
that
look
pause.
like?
All right.
Well, that
you
looks
have,
like a
a
little game system. Like that's small.
Hey, 11
That's what
attachments
that
and a
old lady
razor. It
uses.
could be a game system if you really
So
wanted
it looks
to.
like you have like different like lengths,
Then it looks like soap.
and it
It does a bit. Yeah. What are like? They look like not tweezers, like nose hair trimmers
Don't
on
like-
the right side.
don't like.
Why does it want? Do women
mean-
need nose hair trimmers, or
Yes,
is
I
that
would
like?
imagine they do. Wax the upper lip too.
Don't like. Don't old people have like, or not old people, but people. Wasn't like I remember being like way more of a thing like people like sanding like the palms of their feet.
I was
Oh,
just
the
thinking about that the
Like
other
the
day.
pumice stones or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't want to sound weird.
That
What does it have to do with the shape? Does
But I
you think
think
there's a
what-
pumice stone attachment
Yeah, like,
with that one?
like there's like a belt sander. Like,
I thought
rub your
it
aunt's
feels really
fucking-
good to do that. By the way, that cleans you
pumice.
really
I was like feeling the bottom of my feet yesterday.
gnarly.
Well, because like I work construction, muck boots and stuff. Like the bottom of my feet are pretty calloused up. I'm like, then I got to thinking about like I think I remember seeing something on TV. It almost looked like a cheese grater sort of thing. Like, but I had like the infomercial was like
Yeah.
scraping like shit off the bottom of somebody's
That'd
foot.
be great. Like have the infomercial, then like the next commercial, like have like the Olive Garden commercial. Like, from the
Ah, say when.
Say when.
With your foot up there. Oh,
I was at an Olive Garden one time, like I didn't hear the lady say when,
Yeah.
and she just kept on going. She's just staring at me, and like it was just like a pound of cheese. That was really
keep going.
good too.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
It was really. I imagine if there's 3 pounds of cheese on it.
Anything.
All right, we gotta get through. Like do rapid fire. Well, we're not gonna do rapid fire in this next.
Oh yeah, this next one's got.
This next one
Shit,
needs,
all right.
needs some
All over it.
attention.
All right. So we grew up like when we were like kids that could like recognize TV and stuff. I would say Bill Cosby was like because I think like the Cosby Show was like late 70s, early 80s. I'm not gonna check the early 80s at least, 80s at least.
Sure, yeah.
But Bill Cosby, I knew him as the Jello dude,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
selling Jello jigglers and gelatin and
Can
Jello
Coke and a
pops
smile.
and Jello pudding pops and but turns out
There was much more to him
yeah
Much
than.
more. I loved his stand-up comedy. Loved it. I listened to that. He had a special like going to the dentist and stuff. It was hilarious. And can't watch that anymore. It's not aged well.
I remember watching. I'm assuming it was like after the Cosby Show. He had a lot of like things going on. He had the like kids say the darndest things.
Yep. Oh,
Like, I
yeah,
remember
that's
watching
right.
that. I don't really, because the Cosby Show that wasn't like part of like TGI Friday or whatever.
No, not that I can recall.
Like it was kind of. I don't really know what like station I would have watched the Cosby.
well they had like the new Cosby Show too, like late 90s.
Sorry to buzz. What is that beeping?
That's sorry, it's not from
Okay.
What the hell?
Yeah, I know.
I know. Norman always helps me. All right. So, but I always think it's funny, like when you go back and like see old stuff of like people that have like been like
Oh.
identified as like perverts
Yes.
or bad people in general.
Like a Kevin Spacey movie now or something like that.
Yeah,
Like you see the Weinstein pictures come up. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
what are we doing here?
but like, and Bill Cosby was like always animated, so it's like even funnier watching him now.
Let's make something different for Santa this year. Jello jigglers.
And of course,
With
he's
some
like,
Quaaludes.
he's like always like shouting
Yeah.
at like an 11.
Oh boy.
Do you think the cop approached him the same way?
As Santa did right there.
Yeah. Just. Do you think he had the same reaction? Oh boy.
Yeah.
I was too old at that point. I didn't know where he was.
Oh. Yeah. How the icons have fallen.
I know.
Yeah.
like I think of Lance Armstrong too as like my last sports hero. Like I read his book, he had the Live Strong wristbands, and then you find out he's cheating like everybody else. And
Yeah.
like your childhood heroes just all fall.
Like it sucked because like that whole like with him and like with baseball and everything too, like during the whole like steroid thing,
Yep.
like they were all doing it, but like he was the most famous and
he,
like
he was the most prolific and outspoken about not doing it. That's what everyone fucking hated, because he was winning first of all, and he was being like, no, I'm not a cheater, not. And just the downfall, everyone just reveled so much in that downfall. There's an ESPN special about him that you should check out, 2 parts. That it's really interesting to see him now in 2020.
Well, that's like why you don't see like any pictures now of like current wrestlers when they're kids. Because like any wrestler now was a fan when they're a kid, and they probably grew up worshiping Hulk Hogan.
yeah.
And like, yeah, he said some bad stuff on tape.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I'm not famous.
And then it's like, and then you look at the guy like, why were we surprised? Like, the guy has a handlebar man shoe.
And he's
Like,
made of leather.
like,
He just look all wrestlers looking back look like raging alcoholics.
Yeah.
they were for the most. You listen to like stories about like the old wrestlers. Like it was like they just go buy out a bar like afterwards and just.
They're traveling for like 300 some days of the year. Like that's just a brutal schedule, and just different city every day. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so glad I don't live that way.
Yeah.
All right.
This next one touches on the absolute worst video game ever made.
Like so bad that cartridges.
I'll get my own beer. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a landfill in the desert that people have been trying. Thank you. Where's that? That people have been trying to find, where they buried thousands.
Did
of
you watch the documentary where they found it?
Did they find it? Okay,
So-
I did watch.
Not like I don't know how they knew it. Like
You guys keep talking.
I don't know how they knew it, but they knew like right where to go in this landfill, and they went down and they made a documentary like going there, and they found like samples of like the cartridges and stuff, like actual like the box art and stuff,
Yeah.
and like pretty much everybody that was there got like a wrecked box or whatever.
Just what a tremendous waste of like just plastic just sitting there and like people's time, and then oh my god.
That almost killed video games off forever.
As a whole, yeah.
They killed like the video game
They killed Atari and ColecoVision and
because like back then there was like now you have like 3 consoles
Yeah.
and computer.
Yep.
So let's say 4 consoles.
Mhm.
Well, 5 including those. But back then you had like 10.
Yep.
And it was like, like television. Every developer had their own console they made for. And like they're doing pretty well with like, arcade sales and their console sales.
Mhm.
But then that came out and tried to cash in on like a popular movie.
Yeah.
And failed. Doesn't really.
That's a theme with a lot of like movie-based games. They tend to be dog shit.
Yeah. Movie-based games are bad, and games are.
Game-based movies.
Yep.
Oh, I'm trying to think. There was one recently that was actually really good. But what a waste.
Oh, I don't think we talked about the ET game for Atari,
So
and but you guys know what ET is short for?
extraterrestrial?
No, he has little legs.
He's the only person that could say, "Oh, my dick drags the ground."
But all right, so we have a family on Christmas morning.
Is it the same family from the movie?
I don't see Elliot there.
I don't think. Well, I don't remember them having a dog.
I don't know
They
why.
didn't live in a nice house like this. They lived in the desert, I thought.
So we have E.T. as Santa Claus. Yeah, that's the same family because Elliot's there.
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah, he's on this piece of shit game.
So how can they make a game about him when nobody else? Never mind. I guess everybody does know that he exists because it's the whole thing.
But if I need to like just learn more about why it was so bad. Like, how could you make like, you put it, you're like, as like I write code for a living, so like as you're doing it, you see the output and you're like, oh, this is shit. Like I need to rewrite this or redo this. What were they doing? Were they just doing it, just get it out?
Well, was that considered like advanced technology back then, or was it just like that?
I couldn't tell you.
Because before we always had an Atari because my mom had one, and we didn't have that game. I didn't know if that game existed, but like Donkey Kong and stuff like that, like old school Donkey Kong, like there wasn't much to that. What is that like? What, like 8-bit or 16-bit or whatever?
Considered 8-bit, yeah. You're going to what that means.
But like, how does that?
So from what I remember about like watching like the documentary, like just I love video games. That's my favorite hobby. So I know quite a bit, learned quite a bit about famous ones like that. That was like the first video game that tried to like capture in on like a provided market thing already.
Donkey Kong was?
No, E.T.
Yeah.
Like an outside source.
Like use previous IP, like the Avengers video game would be using the Avengers IP.
Right.
They'd never done.
I got you.
So it's like they used like an existing thing that was popular and tried to like, and then like, and you see it still to this day. Like there's video games that are based on movies that are dog shit, just because everybody wants a quick cash in, and it was no different back then.
Yeah.
And you were gone. I was telling Steve. That game caused the video game crash of like the mid.
1983 was the crash.
Like, so
this
like
ET game.
ET game caused it, yeah, because the market was so oversaturated. Like Pud was saying that Philips had a system, and there was a Commodore 64 and an Atari. There were just so many systems, and they couldn't like communicate with each other. The games weren't compatible, and the market just became oversaturated, and everything crashed. It was 1983.
Whereas now you only have like 5.
Yeah.
Like you have like mobile games, you have PC, the Nintendo, Sony, Xbox, and now they all work with each other. Like if Steve had a Sony PlayStation, he could play with me that has a Xbox, or if you had a Nintendo, we could all play the same game.
Yeah.
But back then it was like, and also back then you didn't have the internet to know like what was a good game, what was a bad game.
Yeah.
And the games cost just as much. Like I guarantee you that ET game was at least $50 when it came out.
Yeah. In the 80s, $50.
So probably at least 100 now. Like
yeah.
All right. Here's another beer commercial. This is like kind of goes on like the funny beer commercials that you had like around the Super Bowl a lot.
Yep.
Well, so I think it might be our next commercial. Like we have one set up. If we feel like doing another one. One of our, I think either January or February. We're gonna try to do one a month, right?
Yep.
Probably February because Super Bowl always happens in February, right? Or late January or February. But we want to do like all Super Bowl commercials, like the old 90s ones. Because like the 90s Super Bowl commercials were like the Budweiser frog.
Yep.
And Christmas commercials around that time were the same way. Like trying to be funny, like especially beer commercials. Like what's funnier than fucking getting drunk, right?
It would be fun to look at those like .com boom commercials.
That's gonna be an episode.
Like the pets.com site.
All .com commercials, and like we'll bring you back for that one too.
Okay.
Or whatever one you want to come back for, Steve.
Yeah, we're definitely.
You're not restricted to any amount of episodes here. All right. So we have
This one is really funny.
we have a young couple.
In the middle of fucking nowhere. Nowhere.
This looks like the Parkway the other day.
This is so
Yeah.
My horse ran out of gas.
Yeah.
Or did it?
All
You
right.
just bust out a lit candle just from nowhere. Nothing sets the mood in
So he goes to get drunk, and now the horse farts.
lights the candle and cooks the woman. Just blasts her face like
Gets third-degree burn.
yeah. And then the guy turns around and says, "Do you smell barbecue?" Because I don't think it would smell like barbecue.
Yeah, I
personally.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah, if you smell like burnt hair, like
Yeah.
if you like singe your hair, like reaching for like the barbecue or something.
Okay, all right. So I've got a terrible story to tell you, and mind you, it does kind of smell like barbecue.
Oh,
So,
in like the least amount of way.
well, yeah, it's. Let me just tell you the story, because. So I'm an electrician, and we had to go to a house where.
Oh no. I know right where this
was
is.
it
going.
like a cat or a dog or something?
No. So
Keep on telling the story. I'll be
Oh
right back.
no.
he was a doctor,
Okay.
an old retired doctor. He lived by himself. In this giant house, and we had to go up there because apparently the guy had a stroke and on his couch and dropped his cigarette.
Pretty old.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the ironic thing is, like, doctor's supposed to be healthy, but
Well.
he
Yeah.
talking or hearing about the guy, he was not very healthy, but had a stroke, dropped a cigarette on the floor, burned up the living room, and I had to go up there. It was like, I don't know, 4 days after, because they shut the power off to the house because safety reasons or whatever, but there was just the couch had burned, but there was a lot of like smoke damage, so they had like one of those.
And he died in the fire. He died of the stroke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I went in and like I walked into the house. They had like one of those like fire like blood restoration companies in there. Like they were like the upstairs and stuff. And like walked into the kitchen. I mean, everything was still there. Like it was so creepy.
Weird. It's weird.
It's so creepy. Like the fridge was like. All the stuff was still in the fridge. Like I had to like walk over to the couch and like see where like the burn spot was. Like, but the smell, like it smelled like barbecue. Like it was terrible. Like it smelled like cooked meat.
Yeah.
But like the disgusting part was like
that was the disgusting part too.
I went home that night and like. Well, my parents got a hold of me like, "Hey, we're having burgers over here. Come on over." Like, I walked in the house and it smelled the exact same.
Jesus.
That was like the only time that I could not eat burgers.
It
was disturbing.
Well, companies like that, like you're talking about, the restoration companies, like they must see shit like that. Not regularly. I can't imagine regularly, but enough that it's like, oh, call in the weird crew.
Enough for like somebody on the crew has seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was funny because like we did the not necessarily funny, but like obviously like those people like hire like stoners and like younger guys and stuff. But like 3 days later, I was on another job, and the coworker that was with me on that job, he walked up to me and like showed me like a picture or video or something on like Facebook at like the end of the driveway, and there's just like smoke like rolling up. He's like, "This was the house that we just put the power back on." I'm like, Jesus. Then I pulled out my phone and I have a missed call from like my office. I'm like, oh my God, we did something wrong and we burned the house down. Like sort of. Yeah. So I'm like fretting that. And so I called my office back and they're like, "Hey, you're probably going to get a call from like the state troopers." I'm like, oh my God, I'm fired. Yeah. But it turns out that the people that were there that day, they had like one of these old like clamp on lights with like the old like halogen bulbs. Yep. And they had a fires running because so like everything was like super dry. Yep. And they went out to have like a smoke break, and they burnt the house down the rest of the way. Yeah. So yeah, that was my experience with barbecue. Yeah. So and horse fart didn't start it.
Yeah. But let's lighten it up a little bit here.
So
this is what 1981 didn't like cocaine become a big thing in the 80s?
Yeah.
That was like when like the whole like like Wall Street. Like this is like a perfect like
this is the dude that started the trend right here.
Yeah.
So also like what I like about this commercial, this dude's crazy, but his name's Crazy Eddie.
Well, it's right there in the name.
But now you only have like a certain number of stores. Like first of all, you only have like 5 websites. You have Facebook, Instagram, Amazon, and Twitter. You got other websites, but those are the basic ones that you see.
4 or 5.
And then like same way with the stores. Like you only have like a couple stores you go to, like Walmart.
You're talking today, not back then. Yeah.
But back then, like you used to have stores. I mean, I remember seeing commercials for stores like this. Like this store is in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
You would see this in like Towanda. Like you'd see stores like for like you would never even see, like I never even knew existed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never knew Target existed till I was like in my 20s probably.
Yeah.
Or not 20s, but like late teens at least.
Well, that's like an issue now where like everything's getting concentrated into these small.
Yeah, like everything
Yeah.
gets bought up by the next biggest purchaser. Like probably in the future, you're probably only gonna have Amazon and Walmart.
Yeah.
Like just the way things are going. But this is like for like a small like it shows at the end of the commercial like he only has like a couple like 10 branches
Mm-hmm.
of his electronics store.
I regret to inform you boys that it doesn't no longer exist.
Oh,
Crazy
man.
Eddie is.
Did you Google it?
did.
Did you find? I was going to see if.
All right. So we can't understand a word this man is saying, but I think he's selling stereos, turntables.
Floating stereos.
Yeah.
Floating
Motors. Oh wow.
Yeah.
So Crazy Eddie knew Photoshop.
Yeah.
Either that or he had a glass show. Yeah, he had
But
10
10
locations, and he's bragging about it.
I mean, you had that guy had to have had a little help from a couple 8-balls.
Some nose candy, a
Yeah.
Colombian marching powder, I like to call it.
Wait, I can't wait till we get like into a couple like micro machines. They had like that guy that talked like super fast.
Okay.
I can't remember if he did like any other commercials, but like that was like the thing to do. But like that guy obviously must have had like a giant coke addiction.
So, a little over halfway. So for the next one, I remember like another big thing in the 90s that was going on was like the Got Milk commercials.
Mm-hmm.
Beef is what's for
I
dinner.
forgot about those.
Pork the other white meat.
Oh.
And they had like some ad campaign for chicken too. I think it's like I feel like chicken tonight, but I thought that was just.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was just like a dude.
That rings a bell.
I think that was just like a
Like a jingle for it? Or
Yeah.
something? Okay.
but like every like protein or like food group has like its own like they make their own commercials.
Well, you'll see this one. It says paid for by the Dairy Council.
So like the Dairy Council made all the Got Milk commercials, and they made this one. I remember this one. I was a kid.
I wouldn't have remembered it offhand, but as soon as I saw it, the power of cheese.
So we all remember we give her milk and cookies
Mm-hmm.
to Santa Claus.
I still do to this day.
Obviously, you've been doing it all wrong.
Yeah.
Fucking leave a line of over cousin Eddie here. But all right, so this is one of the ones that we had to include. Like there were certain ones we had to include just because they're just classic,
Mm-hmm.
and like, a lot of the really classic ones we didn't include just because everyone's been beaten with head with them. But this was one of the ones like I just not like really anything like that funny about it, but.
Talking about waking up being excited on Christmas. Man.
So she wakes up extremely excited, and there's like a Camaro,
It's a Corvette.
a Corvette, and like all this other stuff.
And Dad asked what's in the cookies. America's Dairy Farmers. There we go. And
The
then
old
it would
one.
remember that old logo that like milk or it said real in there or something.
Yeah.
Behold the power of cheese. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's very obvious that Santa Claus was not lactose
Yeah.
intolerant.
That like reminds me of like, I mean, in that they don't. There's just commercials, so they don't play on it. But I'm about to go like an Alex Jones rant. No, but,
Here we go. Finally.
so what you don't want you to know down there about the things. But, no, always get.
You just went down there. What's down there? Tell us what's down there.
All
No,
I
I
thought we were gonna at least to get to like episode before Pud told us he had crabs, but apparently.
The thing that always cracks me up about like Christmas movies is like there'll be there's several commercials or movies that are like this. I don't know why I'm bringing this up now. Because that commercial wasn't like this. But I know you like whispering and go, what are you doing?
What the hell does that have to do with cheese?
No. All right. But they're old like movies, like the adults like pretend like they say like they tell the kids like they know that Santa Claus isn't real. But then like
Spoiler warning.
how do they know like who do they think brought the presents underneath the tree? They're always surprised like they didn't buy the presents. That happens in several like Miracle on 34th Street.
Because Santa's isn't he real in that one? I haven't seen that in a while, but
Yeah, but in that movie,
Yeah.
they act like he's not real. They're just like, oh, little girl.
Oh yeah, like Tim Allen's movie.
Yes.
Yeah, like up until that like period, like where did the presents come from?
Right.
Obviously.
Tim Allen becomes Santa Claus and he doesn't believe that he's Santa Claus.
Yeah.
it came from the old Santa. That's where the present.
So like, did they not have Christmas like up until
Exactly.
then? Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, like that's like a old like a paradox, if you would.
That's the Kris Kringle extended universe.
All right, well,
All right, we got 4 more to get
Yep.
through. We're going late here. Yeah, we're not. But
So speaking of it's like selling stereos and speakers, and I remember these stores taking over those smaller stores. Like this, like it was a dog eat dog kind of world. You had your small electronic stores. Like, do you remember the what was it called? The Golden Eagle. The guy was his
Eagle's Nest.
Eagle's Nest. Thank you, not Golden Eagle downtown, but Eagle's Nest selling computers. Like I remember, I love that place. I actually sold my Pokemon cards to that guy for a Nintendo 64 back in the day.
Nice.
But yeah, but
So
those-
Circuit
those
City is
stores, yeah, those
like-
stores aren't a thing anymore.
did they get bought out by Best Buy?
I have
Or no, they just went.
They went
right?
all online for a little bit. Now I don't think they even exist at
I
all.
didn't even know that. I just
But-
knew that store disappeared.
I remember like seeing like because like we grew up like I grew up in like I grew up the other side of the mountain of Williamsport. Like, it took me half an hour to get to like by the mall in Williamsport, and like up here it takes like 50 minutes to get to the Arnott Mall.
Mhm.
But even back then, like even at like Homing Mall, like we didn't have like that many bigger stores inside of that. I mean, there was bigger stores, but we didn't. Nothing like Circuit City. So I started seeing ads for Circuit City. I'm like, holy. But then we got one down there by that Lycoming Mall. I'm like, the first time I walked in there, I was like, oh my god.
That place, I just walk around, just look at the computers. You could play with them. They'd have the demo screen.
Yep.
Yep.
I remember like going into a store like Best Buy or Circuit City and like looking at the computers and it's like, man, it'd be nice to afford like one of like the nice one.
100 megahertz for $2,500. Look at old computer catalogs at the prices. And
Yeah, like the price they go with show some of the prices and stuff.
Mhm.
So we're talking about the lowest prices at Circuit City.
Mhm. But all this equipment they're showing, about 90% of this equipment is all within your phone now, just right here.
Yeah.
So a 25-inch CRT TV.
Look that up. That's about $500 now.
That one's 35 as an HD and it was less than 100, or it was like 100.
This
I know,
right here,
yep.
that animation that took me back.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, Taco Bell does sound pretty good right now. But yeah, I don't think I ever set foot inside of Circuit City.
Really?
No, I think Best Buy was, but I never went to, I must have been pretty sheltered. Like, I never went to Taco Bell until I was old enough to drive.
I was the same way. The
Because,
first
like, my
time-
family didn't like
We
it.
never, I mean, Jurnack's never did the fast food thing really much at all. Anyway.
The first Taco Bell I went to was in Mansfield.
Yeah.
And I mean, my parents were looking when they were getting their house built before they decided on my own to build it. They were looking at different builders. We were out there like talking to like a modular company, and we stopped and got one to the KFC Taco Bell.
Oh, the combination. Yep, there was one in Shippensburg too.
But like now, like I love them. I mean, I loved them for a while, but now it's like they just ruin my stomach.
Yeah.
It used to be like when I had a hangover, like I had to have like the tallest can of monster they sell, 2 of them, and go get Taco Bell. That was like my Saturday, if I had off Friday night, my Saturday was going up to the valley and getting that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember buying like the first time I was in there. I think I made myself sick of like the amount of shit that I bought, and just
You always buy too much.
I remember the first time I had ever gone to like the mall with my friends was me and you and the other original member of our band, Ross Warner. Ross, let's not say last name.
It's not like you're gonna edit that out. So sorry, Ross.
But yeah, whatever. We're not gonna say anything about it. But like we drove up to the mall. Like I remember that was like a big. Well, we stopped at Taco Bell, and like from there on out, every time we'd go to the mall, we'd stop at Taco Bell before going to the mall.
Yep.
Do you remember that guy that we made run the red light? We would do this thing whenever we get to a stoplight. We would like lean out the car, so I would like point to the sky and be like, "Oh my god! Oh my god!"
That was well after high school too.
Yeah. Next thing, this car, just we heard like screeching tires, and just like this guy like
drifted into the intersection.
Oh my gosh.
But like I do like if I was around pedestrians and like or people that could hear me, I'd be like, "Oh my god, is that plane on fire?" And then like, but I was doing out the window at that intersection, and this guy let go of his brake, and he's just like, "Look out!" I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna kill him, man." Luckily, he looked, and nobody died that day, folks.
Yep.
All right. Oh, what do we got? 3 more.
Oh, yes, I wanted to look up to see if this guy like had like if he was like famous or not. Obviously, he had to because he's like in a series of these commercials. But
yeah. It's not Taco Bell.
no,
Not the Taco Bell, dude. Not the Taco Bell.
$2
you do
for
not want to
double
leave
beef,
Taco Bell out for
medium
Santa
Pepsi.
Claus.
What a deal. Oh. Excellent frame.
Yes. Australians have my favorite accent. And
It's really cool.
And they have my favorite curse word that they say a lot.
Yeah.
We're not going to say it.
Does it
That's
start,
like- that's
what
like
does
the
it
one.
start with?
It's cunt, okay?
Very well.
But,
So it,
but this guy looks
starts
like
with
he's done that word a
cunt.
lot. Oi, cunt! Alright, this crazy Australian.
With a mega chin. The crimson chin here.
Oi, oi!
But then the announcer is an Australian. Oi.
I feel like
Oh no, you gotta stop it. You gotta stop. We can't get to that one yet.
Yeah.
I feel like Australians like they have to all be like that, or otherwise they would be complaining that they're portrayed like crazy people in the media. Because you have like Crocodile Dundee, and then that dude,
Yep.
and then they like other people, but
A couple of them.
Yeah, a couple out of a
Yeah.
few million.
No.
They're all crazy.
but like none of them like ever like they're like no, that's probably pretty fair to like what we look like.
Well, if you like, I mean, they've got to be kind of crazy because like everything down there is like
Will
has
kill
the
you.
ability to kill
Yeah.
you.
And everyone lives in like 1% of the land, like right there on the coast. The middle of it is all
Yeah.
desert and bush.
When I was on that Flogging Molly cruise this past in 2019, there was some Australian dude, but he was talking to somebody else, but talking about like in a certain region, like everybody lives in caves because like the ground's too hot.
Jesus.
In Australia, they
Yeah,
live
like
in
there's
caves.
there's like a part like everybody has to like live like people want to live there still, but they live below ground.
Wow.
I was like, this
Wow.
is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
You ever see Australia? So everything in Australia can kill you. Like this looks the most crazy version of that animal. Live like 9 out of the 10 deadliest snakes live in Australia.
Yeah.
They lost the war to emus.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I remember
Yeah.
hearing something about that.
but you ever see Australia's opossum?
I don't think so.
So you know how our opossum looks. Look, ugliest goddamn
Disgusting,
thing
yeah,
ever.
yeah.
Australian possum looks like a cuddly little teddy bear. And like someone's like, yeah, they messed up. We got Australian possum. It's weird. Like they were clearly supposed to get that thing.
Mhm.
Like they don't even look related. I don't know if they are now. But still called the same animal.
Mhm.
All right, we got two more. Hold on, let me finish. We gotta have like one of the special beers
Mhm.
before we go on the last two. We talked a little bit before about like watching Christmas movies and like memories. What's your favorite Christmas movie ever? You can only pick one.
Christmas movie, it's got to be, because it's like the only one that I watch, it's got to be the National Lampoon's one.
I will ride or die for It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah,
Since I grew up, I like a movie turns me into a mess at the end.
That movie, my mom that was her favorite movie.
Yeah.
And like I remember when I watched that as a little kid and like the stars are talking, that like that gave me an existential crisis. Like I was just like, oh my God, like someday I'm not gonna be anymore. Like I didn't know like if I believed like in like I still don't know what's real, what's not. And we're not gonna get into that. But I didn't know like I just saw like the stars talk and I'm like, oh my God, one day like I'm not gonna I started bawling. Like I was like 5-year-old kid. But like I had to think my favorite. Like I like It's a Wonderful Life. I love this National Lampoon. But I think my favorite would have to be Home Alone 2.
Home Alone 2?
Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
Because normally I hate when a sequel will come out. Like The Hangover did this. Like did everything exactly the same as the first movie.
Yeah.
But Home Alone 2 does that. But somehow it's still a great movie.
In the Donald Trump cameo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Future.
He was like
president of the
yeah,
United States. Yeah.
But he gave like the perfect like he should have said instead of anyone he should have said government.
Yeah.
Like don't trust government because you really can't. But that's the only political rant thing. We made a rule like before that's like we're not going into politics like sort of
Also
thing.
the only president to he give Vince or no, he took a stunner or something like that.
Oh yeah.
No, but
I mean, if you want a president with like an incredibly weird resume, I suppose Trump's probably.
So what's funny was when he got elected, the only time. When he got elected, so obviously Vince McMahon is good friends with him.
Yep.
But there was a picture, like I think it was right after he took office or right before. So Linda McMahon works for his cabinet. Like,
Yep.
Wait, who's Lyndon?
Linda is Vince.
Oh,
McMahon's
Linda.
wife.
Okay.
She's like the chairman of small business or whatever. And I heard people like that. She doesn't know anything on small. Like, well, they're not going to hire like the owner of Bob's Flower Shop. Like,
Yeah.
she knows more. Like, it's probably a pretty good pick. Like, it's as good of a pick when you're going to get. Like, we're not going to get politics here, but
yeah,
I'm not going to fault him for picking a millionaire for that position because you're not going to pick like a fucking.
Who's a McMahon in the government?
Right.
Yeah, at the same time, like we're living in a fantasy world. Like it's
so, but after she got office and she got that job, there was like a picture with Shane McMahon, Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Linda McMahon, Donald Trump, and like all of Shane and Stephanie's kids. And somebody put, "This is a true fact. Stone Cold has given a stunner to half the people in this picture." And it was real. Like every adult in that picture received a Stone Cold stunner. Like, but
on that note,
yeah.
What's our next one?
Our next one we kind of got a spoiler for. We already saw a couple frames of that. It might be that whistling tune you remember about natural male enhancement.
Are we on to these ones now?
Oh Oh Jesus.
We didn't sit
Oh
through
dear.
one.
Yeah. We're probably not gonna finish these ones before the episode's
Nope.
over.
I'll drive back.
So again, not we can talk about politics because I didn't give a shit back then, but I got a point here. Remember like Bob Dole?
Yes.
He was like appeared in the fucking Viagra commercial. Like
I don't remember that. We'll have to touch that one.
like political ads, I think, or like politicians showing up in ads after
yeah.
after their
Yeah, like Bob Dole just showed up like a Viagra. He's like, I'm not afraid. I'm like, what are you doing, Bob?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Like Fred Thompson did like sold insurance and stuff like that. He was an actor before, the same kind of thing as Reagan.
Did Reagan do anything like funny like that?
I don't know about funny. Reagan was a massive actor. He was the
Yeah.
president of the Actors Guild or something for a while there before becoming governor.
wasn't he like a big actor though? I thought he was only on like B movies.
I think he was a pretty big actor. Like not like a not like a John Wayne megastar, but he was well known.
How about this, chubby Santa? That's me.
All right. So I had a point there with the boner pills, but there used to be like, and this is a messed up. Why? The thing about America, like we have like commercials for like medicine, and I feel like that's very messed up.
Yeah, isn't the United States like the only like country
Pretty
that
much the only. Yep.
allows like prescription drug companies to like advertise on TV, which
but at least we make them funny.
yeah. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it.
Well, we made him funny then.
Well, I don't know.
Now it's
I
the same
suppose I could find humor in Walt Brimley and the diabetes commercials, but
Right.
Yeah.
But
I
like,
know they're not supposed to be funny. But when you
But
look
they
like
are.
when you got cats that look like you and they
everybody remembers like these old Spy on Bob commercials. Like,
Yeah.
this one.
Get it, North Pole.
We have to narrate this one because there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
so this guy's married.
Yep.
Let's just set that.
And has a
Is he?
permanent grin upon his face.
Oh yeah.
But was that obviously that grin wasn't there before he took it?
Oh, he was sad.
Right. So we have a lady holding a North Pole sign.
There's no
Fuck.
innuendo
Seems to
there.
be a lot of rumors going around about this.
Bob is the office saying.
Oh, that's his wife. His wife is in the commercial.
Mhm.
So like all these ladies
Oh,
cannot
she's sharing the word.
wait to sit on Bob's lap.
See, everyone's gossiping. It started with his wife and kind of spread it around that Bob's packing these days.
So what are these? I mean, obviously these girls are like lined up to meet this guy.
Because he's got wood.
Like, are they? What are they expecting when they obviously?
When they sit on his lap. I think people had the same issues.
The old Yule log,
Yule
so
log,
to
there
speak.
you go.
You'll do something.
Mm-hmm.
So who made? It wasn't like Pfizer or something that made Enzyte, right? Obviously, Pfizer was Viagra.
Well, they probably had their. I wouldn't surprise me if they made more than one boner pill.
Well,
Well, obviously there was like Cialis or
Cialis
something like that.
Yeah.
No, Pfizer made more than one. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Oh, I gotcha.
Like quarter of the market on.
On boner pills.
Hey, if you're gonna,
Except for the weird ones at the
Something.
gas stations.
yeah.
Spanish fly. Remember the Beavis and Butthead episode? Spanish fly?
You know, that was like the one thing I was like really like hopeful because they like
They
redid,
rebooted, yeah.
they rebooted it, but like I never heard anything more. Did it like last like a season
No,
or something like that?
Honestly, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I wanted to get in. That was one of the ones that like I wanted to get into that show like so bad, but I couldn't.
I bought the movie for my brother a while ago now, and we've watched that a bunch of times. Really funny, but
The movie is great.
Yeah.
Like, but the show, I can watch the show, but like it just, I don't know. It
Yeah.
isn't like.
I can't sit there and watch it. Like it doesn't have enough for me. I can have it on in the background. I'll giggle at jokes still,
Yeah.
but it's not. It can't be a primary thing.
That was. I think we had this conversation on the last episode. We were talking about like like such big fans of like these shows like when we were little, but like I don't remember like a damn thing about them. Like I was such like a big like Ninja Turtles fan.
Yep.
But I couldn't tell you like anything about.
I know it all merges together. You don't know one episode.
Like,
from the next.
I just know that was like the same thing with like Beavis and Butthead. Like, I remember like they did like music videos and stuff in the show, but like what they just like did.
Metallica and AC/DC.
What did they do? Did they like talked over? They like just make fun of the videos?
I have no idea.
I don't remember like what. I guess we're gonna have to like go back and like.
Yeah, they just watched the videos and like made fun of them, like the music videos on the artists.
Oh my gosh.
But like I don't know. I guess that's what made the show great. But.
Yeah, it is absolutely.
I know you're talking about Beavis and Butthead, right?
Yeah.
So like I remember like that show being so taboo.
Yes.
That like
Yes.
the one time I was like spending the night at my aunt's and they had cable and I watched it. I went back to like whatever grade I was in. I went back to school like third grade. I was like, guys, I watched Beavis and Butthead.
That was me in South Park. I remember you guys at St.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Everyone
I
was-
remember
yeah.
like having to go up to like my 6th grade teacher and like asking her, I'm like, so I got this shirt. Because like I don't know if it was like the same thing with you guys, like your parents take you like back to school shopping and they like you pick out like shirts, and I got the shirt that said like, oh my god, they killed Kenny on it. So like I had that like in my closet forever, and finally like I had to go up to like the security teacher and I'm like, because like I didn't want to have to or you weren't allowed to say anything offensive or whatever. I'm like, so I went up and talked to him. I'm like, so the shirt says this. I'm like, but I really like the show and like. But yeah, like that show being like so taboo or whatever.
Well, The Simpsons started out as so taboo in that same way, and it's totally like it's just so bland, very bland now.
I remember.
Same thing with Family Guy.
So me and Steve went to a Catholic school for like our middle school.
Yep.
And like so everything was like dialed up even more.
Yeah.
But, like the I didn't have like cable or anything for like a few years when I growing up, and this kid, one of our classmates, Joel, he was kept on talking on this show and saying how funny it was, and he goes, "I'll bring in the tape for you." You know, not the first Christmas special that got on like the network deal. You know, like they made like just a thing, Santa Claus fighting Jesus, and that's what got on the network deal. But our classmate had just a tape of like the second one, like after they had like a full season.
Was that Mr. Hankey?
Yeah.
Was he in that? Okay.
And like, he's like, watch this.
Oh my gosh.
Well, first he had like just the audio put onto a CD or a tape or CD, and I thought it was funny. And he goes,
yeah, it
but
is.
then he had like just me watch the tape, and then I was hooked. But like, my parents were never strict. Like they never like cared about that stuff. Like there was like, you know.
God. I wish.
There was like, always kind of this like, you're probably gonna hear it at some point, like just you know not enough to repeat it. But like, so they were always fine with me like watching that and like listening to it and everything.
The first time I ever watched an episode, my family was staying in a hotel, and we found it on, and I begged my mom. It was like 10 or 10:30 or something. I begged my mom to let me watch it, and we made it like 10 minutes into it, if that. Before she's like, no.
You had to watch. You tried to watch South Park.
Yeah, well, we were in the. I didn't have control of the remote. We were on. I said, I really want to watch this. Oh, everyone I know, really into it. This was in, I think, 6th grade was the last year I was at St. Agnes. So it's about 6th grade it would be.
So you came to Towanda in 7th grade.
So I was at St. Agnes for 1st grade. I was at Wysox for kindergarten, St. Agnes till 6th grade. I was homeschooled 7th grade. I went to North Rome, which is even more Christian school. That's the one with all the trailers. And
I didn't know that, but
okay.
I'm kind of wondering what's going on in those trailers.
Well, they were the classrooms.
Are they like single wides, or are they like?
No, they were. I fit 2 classrooms in each trailer. I mean, I had a good time there, but then I went to Towanda for high school. Yeah, quite a range of education.
You got out of there in what? You came to Towanda in 8th grade.
8th grade.
Yeah.
So like, I'm talking.
I love like the.
I gotta tell the story about both of you guys.
Oh Jesus! I know exactly what story you're gonna tell.
But I'm not gonna go into detail about Steve. Like Steve's like one of my old, like seriously one of my oldest friends. Like when I had friends like I was saying from kindergarten through most of third, went to Sport League. I got in touch with like some of those people I like back in like the MySpace era. I got a like a whole bunch of
yeah.
like and like some of them remembered me, like people that live right next to it.
Yeah.
But like I'm not gonna try to keep touch with them. Like what are we gonna have in common now? Like we're friends in third fucking grade. So like and then third grade I went to White Sox for a couple months and then for third grade and then all fourth grade. And then fifth grade got shipped off and had to make all new friends because none of my friends from White Sox went to St. Agnes.
Yep.
But like we had like the same class. Like I think senior year, like what would have been my senior year at St. Agnes, there was like 2 boys.
Yeah, there were two boys in 8th grade there.
And like
toward the end.
But like 5th grade, there was quite a few of us. I was like we all bonded together, like because boys would sit age. Like
no. I did not get along well with most other people. I was a fucking spaz growing up. So like I remember Ben Warner. Not these last names. I remember.
Don't worry. The only last names we've used so far is Warner. So.
It's Warner's, yeah. But this guy and I would get into fights a lot.
Well, back then everyone was an ant. Like you're all asking, but everybody wanted to tell on each other. So I remember like the one time, like
I was such an asshole.
Steve pissed off Ben, or Ben pissed off Steve, and Steve flicked him off, and like the teacher walked back into the classroom. It's like, and everybody told us. I stayed silent because everybody's like, "Hey, Mr. So-and-so, Steve raised his middle finger," and like Steve had to go stare at a picture of Jesus for half an hour.
Yeah,
that was your punishment back then.
Really? Yeah. So that's how you guys came to know each other?
Well, yeah.
We got stupid fucking tips. Like playground, like I grabbed a hold of Steve's swing.
Did you?
Did you like knock him off it?
No, I grabbed a hold like while I was trying to swing. Like
was it like a flirtatious sort of thing?
He's coming on to me, young love.
Yeah. Just being.
Oh, it was bad. Like,
yeah,
I think back to the stuff I did in grade school and high
yeah,
school.
it was like it's so cringeworthy.
Yeah, very
bad.
Hold that.
Okay.
But
I thought you were gonna tell the swastika story.
No, you're gonna tell that now.
Yeah, now that I said that, I'll wait for Sean to get back. But yeah, there were so many memories there. My parents reminded me of a time I fought Ray DiPaolo. We were fighting on the stage, like there.
Oh wow!
I was there at Latchkey. I can remember getting into multiple fights with him because I wanted to watch Toonami and they wanted to watch Power Rangers, and and more people wanted to watch Power Rangers.
How many?
And I always we just have the one last commercial to go.
No, I was gonna say how many like fights have been like started over that.
Oh my gosh, infinite. When Sean gets back, let's do that last one. We can.
No, you gotta tell that the.
Okay,
story, though.
I'll tell that when he gets back.
I was making sure it wasn't mute or anything.
Yeah, that would have been pretty bad.
Now you gotta let us know, like, and people in the comments, whatever, let us know what episodes you want to see. Steve, let us know what episodes you want to deal with us.
Yeah, I would do like old wrestling commercials would be fun.
So I was thinking for
sports commercials, stuff like that.
Maybe like WrestleMania month.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
We could, but I want to do just to tell everybody kind of like some of the ideas me and Sean already came up with. We want to do like the .com boom.
Yes.
And like with that, we're gonna do like the 1-800 collect commercials and the 1-800 call ATT.
C-A-L-L-A-T-T.
Yep.
With Carrot Top. Oh my god.
We're gonna do those. I want to do like an episode all about Super Bowl commercials. You know how to make an entrance.
So here's the swastika story.
All right.
So in 5th grade, like Pud was saying, it was just playground fighting and just minor bullying, that kind of thing. So somebody.
5th grade was like learn to be an asshole 101.
It was honestly we were all getting our asshole shoes on.
So that was like when you guys like started to like rebel, so to speak.
Sure.
Because that was like
not
kind of
rebel, but just like it's like at that age.
Oh,
Like even in middle school, I think you're going to realize like you start realizing like the whole thing, like yeah, like we can misbehave, like we're not going to get that much stuff. And at St. Agnes, it's like compelled. Like I feel like Catholic school does that. Like a private school will do that because it's like you're told so long not to be bad, but then it's just like, what's really going to happen?
So
really, you're not going to arrest a 5th grader.
one day in 5th grade, I look on the back of the blackboard. They're on the front and the back walls are blackboards in the back. I look, and I'm like, the light is hitting this really weird. Someone took the erasers and tapped a swastika on the blackboard in the back of the room. I did not do it. And somebody in the class, I remember their name. I'll keep it to myself now. Finally, they accused me of it, and I'm the one who tapped the swastika on the blackboard in the back. And I most certainly did not do that.
Oh my god!
And that stayed. That's always been one of those memories that's always stayed.
I just remember like I was like a new kid in that school at 5th grade, and by the end of the school year, like I had friends and everything, but I still didn't like understand like a lot of things.
Yeah.
But like,
there's your introduction right there.
it's just like when that person like raised their hand, like Mrs. So and so, Steve drew a swastika. But like, I hadn't carved that in my memory that you did it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like a couple of years ago, we're up in Boston hanging out, and like we're just at the bar, like kind of hanging out. Like, Steve, remember when you drew that swastika on the blackboard?
And it brought up some memories.
In
and I was
5th
like,
grade.
Fuck you.
And Steve's like, I did not do that.
So I sat next to a kid in 4th grade that he got a swastika in Kilroy. Remember Kilroy?
Yeah, the nose
The
thing.
thing. Like he got those two mixed up in art class, and he drew like a picture of a guy, and I remember because I was sitting next to him, and like it's funny to me now, but like I didn't know. Like he's like, "Oh, watch me! I'm gonna go draw Kilroy, and I'm this guy for a mouth," and he drew a swastika. And like I remember,
Something's not right here. I don't know what.
The art teacher
Something's
like
up.
walked up and just like looked down at it, and he got like a 10-minute lecture on like the whole like Nazi thing.
Yeah, the whole Nazi thing.
I remember. So this probably wouldn't have been that big of a deal in normal school. This might have been in 7th grade. I don't know if you were still going there,
Not 7.
but I'm not sure if it was 7th or 6th in St. Agnes, a Catholic school. And like, but again, like I don't know if this would have like gone like the way it did in like a normal school as it did in St. Agnes, but we were sitting around, and I was pretty sure it was 7 because there were only 4 boys there. And the one kid said, Joel said to another kid, said, "Hey, you want to buy, or do you want this?" He had some type of candy in his lunch. And the kid's like, "Yeah, I want it." He's like, "Well, how much will you pay for it?" He's like, "I don't have any money for it." And he goes, "I'll trade it for your soul."
Jesus.
In Catholic school, just so happened the father, the main preacher of the church on the diocese, was walking by and heard us talking about trading the soul for fucking candy. So we got a talking to. But yeah, that's what it's like going to Catholic school.
Yeah.
All right, on to the last commercial.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll have to save the story from when me and you met together.
Oh,
Yeah. We'll do that some other day.
Yeah,
That takes some time.
that one's an issue.
What all right.
So speaking of fucking weird.
We're gonna transition to the fuck. What is your race? All the presents, all the movies, everything else like that. What is your favorite thing about the holidays?
I mean, obviously the family time.
Mhm.
The family time.
That's-
We can all agree it's the family time.
Yes.
All right.
And I can say, like, I don't know. Obviously, like with getting older, like I don't care so much about getting things.
Yeah.
Like I
I
spent
like
more
watching
time.
people's reactions when I give them stuff.
Right, and like I spent more money. Like I looked at like my bank account and stuff. Like I spent more money like just giving things away.
Right.
Like that was actually like this year. I don't know if it was like 2020 or what. And I'm not like trying to toot my own horn or anything, because like my family, like we're well enough to where like whenever we want something, we just go out and buy it.
Yeah.
So
That's
like
how
my
family is.
family's like the worst people to like buy it for.
That's how we are.
So like I told my family, I'm like, I would have spent more on your gifts, but I spent too much money like on other shit. Like,
But like I got my dad like one of my favorite gifts I've ever given this year or ever. Like like I said, I was telling you guys earlier, like I went hunting for the first like 15 years, and me and my dad, like before we went hunting, we set out like trail cameras. We got like all these pictures, like
I remember you posted
bear
this.
and like
Yep.
like bobcats and bear and like deer, turkey.
Mhm.
So like my dad doesn't have any social media. He can't like see these pictures like when he wants to. Like so I saved them all on my phone, but I bought him a digital picture frame. And I bought him the picture frame and put them all on a memory card.
Oh, that's cool.
And like his face, now they can like see those pictures all the time.
Mhm.
Like it was like one of his favorite gifts. And I spent like fucking $20 on it.
Yep.
All right. I want to like tell everybody like we're gonna go to like really weird spot like talking. about
so we went from funny to weird.
Yeah.
no like, but so family is a big part of Christmas. Like
Mhm.
Steve, you were saying like you made all your family.
So you're talking about gifts now. Not like go the wood shop a lot. I prefer to make stuff for people because like people really like to see things that you put a lot of time and effort in. So I made these candle holders, CNC machine. They came out awesome. So it just for my parents and my sister, my brother-in-law, and then we had them lit up pretty much all day while we were around the table. And that's what I like most about the season now. Like you can buy me a little bit here and there, but it's about the thought and the effort behind what you do.
I like when you get older, the build up to the holidays itself is better than the actual holidays.
Yeah, it's
Like we opened Christmas. Me and my family opened Christmas presents Christmas Eve
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't know like what the weather was going to be like yesterday.
right.
So it's like we opened all our Christmas presents, and then like yesterday it was like, all right, weather's going to be all right. So we met up. I met up with my parents, my brother and sister-in-law for breakfast, and then I went to my brothers and sister-in-law I got into the pizza oven. And that's I feel like you buy like stuff like I bought my brother a pizza oven. No, I said it's so weird. A pizza oven, and then like now like we get to like now I get to go over there all the time now for a pizza or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was
So
like
we're close to our families.
Yeah,
yeah.
not as close as this last family.
yeah. That's a nice little segue.
All right,
into
we're gonna play the commercial, and then we're gonna like give like some final remarks and whatever.
So this,
It's for soldiers.
yeah,
You might be familiar with.
never
It's
look
quite
at it the
popular.
same way again.
Nope.
And I guess from 2009. I thought it was late, like earlier than that.
Mhm.
Oh, this is a 2009 commercial?
Yeah, I thought it was.
Can we hear it?
Oh yeah, we gotta hear it. So the brother's been away for some time.
Where do you think he's been?
Honestly,
I don't know.
there's no clue there.
He wants some real coffee.
Mhm.
The sister answers the door. They're waking up. Like, I feel like they're being extra flirty. And then she slaps the bow on him and says, "You're my present this year." And that's the best part of waking up is pouring these in your cup.
Oh, man.
Now, all right.
I mean, where do you gotta be that like Folgers is like your
He's bringing me up together.
It's like
for some insights.
real coffee is Folgers.
Mhm.
Like I don't know. It's
That was the big sticking point. It's like, oh, finally, real coffee. This drip shit here. Yep.
Yeah, that's like you watch that commercial like you're younger, like with an innocent mind, and you're like, I miss each other.
when
And it
when
is-
when
it
did
is
like
per-
the innocent mind thing go away for you? Because
I
obviously,
Yeah.
Probably when I met you, Sean. We're gonna get to that on a later podcast.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta kind of. I'm getting starving. We're about to
yeah,
go to
we gotta cook those steaks
almost
up.
10.
Again, this was a special episode. It was the first Christmas episode and first episode with the guest. I
Depending
hope
on-
that it turns out.
Oh my god, yeah.
If we hit stop and this does not go, like you're never gonna hear this, and you're never gonna hear another one. But if this works, let us know like what type of subject you want to hear. We're gonna try to churn out one a month. Steve's welcome back anytime he wants. I feel like he was a very good addition to
Thank
this. Right from the start, I said like I told Sean that you were one of the ones that we could have all of our friends. I feel like we could have a great time. But like some of the people like they don't want to like. And I understand completely. Don't want to expose yourself.
Yeah, this type of podcast doesn't exactly lend itself to like teachers and everything else.
Yeah.
There's a certain couple of people that we wanted to have on, but they're like,
And,
no, we probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
Based
And like
on
certain people that I want to have on, but like in like a normal circumstance, like they would, but they don't want to expose themselves to like people right now. But like, yeah, just let us know if anybody has an idea, if like commercials you want to drop for a suggestion, ideas for like a theme, even we can look. We want to stick to like 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. I think. I don't think we want to go later like 2010.
No, maybe we'll do some like special ones for that. But yeah, it's kind of a little more nostalgic.
But yeah, we I don't know about you guys, but I had a blast recording this.
Yeah, if anything, it's a funny way to so maybe like 20,
It's so fun, like exploring your own mind, like in a way that you have to like talk about it. So
yeah.
absolutely.
I wish everybody that's listening a happy New Year. I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas, happy holidays, whatever holiday you happen to celebrate. What do you guys have to add?
No, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this works out and we're able to do more because this is super fun.
Yeah,
and,
this was a good time. Thank you for the invite.
yeah, no problem. I can't wait to have you on again.
All right.
Hit the button.
If anything, hopefully we don't expect like monetary things, but it'd be nice if this build up to where we got a couple breweries sending in some nice
Yeah, like if you know a brewery admin or something, you want to send us some nice.
well, we're not against having some brewmeisters on to talk about their beers. And,
all right.
some in.
All right. We'll see you later, everybody.